more Monkey Knife Fights picks for Week 7 of NFL action here on Fantasy Focus. I'm Derek Tate alongside Matt Bucks, as we're going to break down a little revenge game potentially for Teddy Bridgewater facing off against the team he made 5 starts for just last season in the New Orleans Saints. As the Carolina Panthers, we have a battle in the NFC South and 2 teams, one of which feels like they're off to a slow start with the New Orleans Saints. But then you flip the coin and you feel like the overachieving Carolina Panthers are further along than where we expected at this point. But we got to figure out what to do because Drew Brees just found out that he's not going to have Michael Thomas yet again for this slated matchup against the Carolina Panthers. So, Bucky, we're going to go ahead and start off with our favorite rapid fire. And again, if it's your first time coming across Monkey Knife Fight, again, it's a prop bet-based
prop game bet. Prop game bet,
exactly. So, but rapid fire, we're pitting 2 players against each other in one statistical category. If you haven't yet done so, go to monkeyknifefight.com, click the link in the description, use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit, and Monkey Knife Fight will match your initial first deposit up to $50 in your account to get you started. So, speaking of getting started, we got Teddy Bridgewater versus Drew Brees in this heads-up matchup. And it's actually Teddy Bridgewater who's getting a whole half a yard passing bonus.
Big time.
So it's a pick'em. It is the essential pick'em between Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees. How do you see it playing out?
I like Teddy Bridgewater here. You're down your best target there for Drew Brees. Obviously, we've seen the ascent of Bob Anderson, who is just really coming into his own here in Carolina. He's got a full slate of his targets out there. Teddy Bridgewater does. I'm going Teddy.
You know, and we've seen that the loss of Christian McCaffrey, although, you know, obviously it's a downgrade from no matter who replaces him. McCaffrey's the best dual threat running back in the National Football League as far as a pass catching threat out of the backfield. But Mike Davis has done a nice job, and we've seen the emergence of Robbie Anderson with the compliment to DJ Moore. I'm going to roll with you on this one. I know that Drew Brees has still been getting his, a decent amount of passing yardage through the air, but another week without Michael Thomas, this Carolina secondary has played much better than people realize. So I'm actually going to roll with Teddy Bridgewater as well in this one. But we'll move over to receptions, straight up reception totals between DJ Moore and Alvin Kamara. And DJ Moore, who is, one of the most talented wide receivers in the National Football League, is actually getting a reception and a half bonus in this heads-up tilt versus Alvin Kamara. But how do you see it playing out? It always seems to bode well for running backs when a top target hog is not available at the wide receiver position. Obviously, no Michael Thomas potentially means more receptions for Alvin Kamara. Who do you like?
I like Kamara here. Even with the 1.5, I'm fine with that. I think Kamara ends with 8 catches here this game.
You look at the reception totals for Alvin Kamara. Since Michael Thomas has been fully unavailable, there's been 3 out of 4 games where Kamara has caught 8 or more balls. That's top flight receiver production. And we haven't seen DJ Moore really sniff that throughout this entire season. Yes, he's had some splash games and some splash plays, but Robbie Anderson is stealing a significant amount of targets away from him, as well as Mike Davis out of the backfield. So I'm with you on this one. No Michael Thomas equals a good thing for Alvin Kamara in the passing game.
Absolutely.
And we'll move on. And now this is always the tricky part, is trying to figure out where Drew Brees is going to go with the football when he doesn't have Michael Thomas. We know Kamara is going to get his work, but the heads-up matchup as far as receptions, again, going between Jared Cook and Traquan Smith. How do you see that playing out?
I'm going to take Traquan simply because he's starting with the advantage here. I don't know what to make of Cook v. Traquan Smith. Why don't you educate me, Derek?
I'm going to roll with you on this one. Even though Jared Cook, is certainly capable of blowing up most teams as far as a matchup at the tight end position on a weekly basis. But, really, we haven't seen any significant uptick in targets or even receptions for Jared Cook since Michael Thomas has been on the shelf. We've seen a couple splash games from Traquan, even though it hasn't always been consistent. In this heads-up pick'em, I think the safe thing to do, and really the player that's had more involvement, has been Traquan Smith. So as far as a pure reception bonus, I'm going to go with Traquan. I mean, I expect him to win this heads-up matchup without the bonus. The fact that Jared Cook is going to actually have to catch more passes to win this heads-up tilt means I am going to roll with Traquan. So
nice.
You get 6 times your buy-in on this. Again, one of the things with Monkey Knife Fight, you get to pick how much you like as far as this heads-up battle. So I'm putting a nice little 5 spot on it. I'll win $60 if we go. And we've been killing the rapid fire, so we'll go ahead and move on. Again, it's a nice little reminder. If this is your first time checking out Monkey Knife Fight, go ahead and go to the link in the description, and create your account. Just remember to use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit.
That's focused, FOCUSED.
You know, you sounded like you were going to make it like a cheer there for a second.
I kind of did. I kind of did that.
Sprinkle a little salt in it. All right. Speaking of hot saucy, we've got our 6 for 6, 35x your buy-in. And Buck, I always like the fact that I like to go with the analysis. I could probably talk on every single one of these lines obnoxiously for about 20 minutes, but you just go with your gut. How do you see this one going across all 6? Let it rip.
I'm going to go more, less, more, less, more.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I mean, isn't it kind of crazy that Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Brees have the same exact yardage over under? Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen that yet on any of these 6 for 6. But when you're talking about rushing yards, you know, Kamara's so involved in the passing game that it makes me almost nervous, even though I think that they could have a pretty good game on the ground. I mean, I like what Derek Brown's done in his rookie year there in Carolina, but Kamara's only topped that rushing mark on 2 out of the 5 games. I mean, granted, that's not like a death sentence when it comes to this 65.5 yard total.
That's 40%.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, but his involvement in the passing game is just so high. And his
involvement in the passing game is their rushing game.
Correct. Exactly. Which that's part of the reason why I feel like Latavius Murray has seen 10 carries almost every single game.
Hit him with the less.
Yeah, I just like what Kamara is going to do in the passing game. Robbie Anderson, I'm all with you on that. I think that Teddy Bridgewater has the over, whereas Drew Brees is going to kind of dink and dunk his way down the field. The tough one is DJ Moore.
Yep.
Because and you're going with Mike Davis with over 4.5 receptions. As far as when we're taking a look at Mike Davis ever since Christian McCaffrey's been out, I mean, he's gone for 5+ receptions on 3 out of 4 games. I'm okay with that, even though he didn't have quite as much involvement against the Chicago Bears in the passing game. I'm okay with going with Mike Davis on that account, but it's really DJ Moore, man. DJ Moore is, I don't know what to make of him because he's right around that 4 or 5 reception mark every single game. I'm with you with the less because it seems like Robbie Anderson's the target hog here.
He is. He has been consistently.
Which I don't think he's a better player than DJ Moore, but I mean, the numbers are the numbers. So I'm going to roll with you on this. That is our 6 for 6 picks for this NFC South battle between the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. This was a quick hitter, Bucky. Normally we drag this out a little bit more, but we're down to business here on Fantasy Focus, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of down to business, if you haven't yet done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button. We really appreciate any and all the support. If you have live start sit questions heading into Sunday, Fantasy Focus has got you covered. We go live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday morning, and we really take you almost up until kickoff answering your questions for start and sit options heading into every Sunday out of NFL action. And again, one more reminder, if you're a prop bet aficionado, go to monkeyknifefight.com or click the link in the description. Use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit on Monkey Knife Fight. They will match it up to $50 when you use the promo code FOCUSED. Till next time, everybody. Later, says the tape.
And I would advise you for the live show tomorrow, get in early. Get in at 9:45 a.m. Eastern. Pop that question in. You'll guarantee to get that answered quickly. We have, at this point, like a 30 to 40-minute delay if you come in lollygagging around 11 a.m. Eastern. Get in there early. Get your questions in. Can't wait to see y'all.